The Dhurandhar firestorm. Critics' audience divide. Ideological people divide. The right-left divide. Propaganda versus portrayal of reality versus pure cinema. The big Dhurandhar divide.
Hello and welcome. You're watching To The Point. We come to you on a very chilly winter afternoon from Vijay Chowk, Delhi. But our top focus, well, is a heated debate which ensues. While the makers of Dhurandhar are laughing all the way to the bank, strangely, that film has led to a binary debate of sorts between the intellectual liberals and the intellectual hardliners. And within shooting range of this battle are film critiques. We're going to break it all down, the entire controversy as it's playing out. All right, so our top focus, our debate number one is focused on one film that is doing exceedingly well at the box office, but it's got the gentry divided, like some others in the past. A disclaimer right at the onset, I haven't quite watched a film, but the debate is all the more interesting. Like I pointed out earlier, a binary sort of debate between those who are perceived in the stereotypical way of the liberals versus the hardliners. This is how it panned out.
One film, two ideology. Dhurandhar has sliced open the proverbial left-to-right divide. While the right hails it as a patriotic epic, a growing chorus is calling it Islamophobic, ultra-nationalist and polarized. Ranveer Singh starrer Dhurandhar, an action drama set against the backdrop of India-Pakistan tensions, has become far more than a movie. It has turned into a cultural flashpoint. The row started when veteran film critic Anupama Chopra's review landed, one that was far from flattering. Within hours, an aggressive online campaign targeted her, turning the critique into an us versus them war on social media. The attacks were so intense that the review has been made private. Soon, filmmakers and fellow critics began calling out the hate, warning that trolling had crossed all limits. And as the debate intensified, Bollywood's internal cracks widened. Hrithik Roshan said he may not agree with the movie's politics, a comment that triggered a massive backlash. But after the pushback, he posted another social media post praising the movie's performances and technical craft. Meanwhile, Akshay Kumar, Madhur Bhandarakar and even Smriti Irani publicly backed the movie, strengthening its patriotic appeal. A divided Bollywood added more fuel to an already raging fire. As the trolling grew toxic, the Film Critics Guild issued a strong condemnation, calling the attacks on critics a threat to free expression and healthy cinematic debate. The controversy then spilled beyond India's borders. Dhurandhar was banned across 6 Gulf nations, including the UAE, Qatar, Saudi Arabia and Kuwait, over concerns about its anti-Pakistan theme blocking a major international market. And at the heart of this entire storm lies one simple question. Why is it wrong to have an opinion? Actors, critics, audience, everyone should be free to express a point of view without abuse, intimidation or hate. In a democracy, films should spark debate, not hostility. Bureau Report, India Today.
All right, viewers, as we kickstart our debate, once again giving out that disclaimer, I haven't quite watched the film Dhurandhar. I'd like to, maybe over the weekend. So I'm going to let my opinion rest. But we've seen a fair amount of opinion come at the back of this film. Is it propaganda? Is it pure events? Have we become too skittish to actually recall events in the manner in which they actually unfolded? Or ultimately, is it just cinema? Much ado about nothing. Take it for what it is. Great piece of cinema for those who like it, for those who didn't, who don't, not so good. And let it just be. Not the first film, that has witnessed a similar controversy. But right now, Dhurandhar finds itself in the eye of a storm. But nonetheless, the filmmakers would be very happy, laughing all the way to the bank. So let's break it down on what we witnessed over the course of the last 1 week. Joining me this evening on the debate, Komal Nahata, film trade analyst, Swati Chaturvedi, senior journalist, author, Rakesh Bedi, actor, Ashutosh, political analyst. Because there are two facets to this film, viewers. At one end, it is a product of Bollywood, but the repercussions, the ramifications of it has been felt across, not just politically, but in terms of debate, in terms of narrative, all of that. Like I said, a binary debate in what are traditionally considered the hardliners versus the liberals. Let's cut across to one such stereotyped liberal. Ashutosh joins us, and Komal Nahata as well that we have. Ashutosh, have you watched the film? What's your opinion? Because ultimately in all of this, there might be a raging battle between ideologies playing at the back of this film. But for the first time, we've seen critics, in the line of fire, within shooting range.
See, Preeti, I'm a movie buff, but I have not seen this movie. And let me honestly confess this. But yes, I have seen the kind of reaction this film has invited and the kind of blockbuster this has become. So obviously, this has invited a lot of criticism and a lot of appreciation also. But fortunately or unfortunately, today a film is viewed from the ideological point of view. Like a film like Uri, a film like Kashmir Files. They are viewed from the different perspective, and you will find a lot of people who will be coming on the Twitter and on the Facebook and saying, "Let's make this movie hit." So that, and then you will find another section of the people who will saying, "This is a movie which is communal in content, and this is movie which is creating a kind of fear psychosis against certain communities." That's the sad part of it. A movie has to be seen and as a creative art. The movie should be criticized not because it divides society, not because of the ideological divides, not because it is seemed to be venomous or the poisonous in its nature, but because of its creativity. If the movie is like, I still remember there are enough movies like when the Christ movie was there. I'm forgetting the Passion. The Passion has invited so much of reactions that there is so much violence in the last few hours of the Christ, and the whole Western country was divided on the line of Christianity. Somebody supported it, somebody did not support it. So that kind of reaction really scares me. Otherwise, I have no problem with a director, an actor has a right to take the creative liberty. But if they are fictionalizing, even if you can fictionalize even the history also. Look at the Quentin Tarantino's movie, if I remember correctly, in which even the Hitler's death was fictionalized in a theater, and the bomb blast happens, and it goes. I think the Inglorious Bastard, if I remember correctly, the name of the movie. So the director takes these kind of creative liberty, but it should be clearly said that this is not a part of the history kind of a thing. Unfortunate part of it that when this becomes a Hindu-Muslim divide debate, unfortunate part is that you like the movie because you adhere to certain ideology. I like the movie because I don't subscribe to that ideology. Then it's a problem.
No, but there's always been opinion, and just because the Dhurandhar is not the first. And away from what the ideological communal divide, Ashutosh, that you actually spoke of, there have been films that have gone to divide the viewers in the past. Animal with one, and the kind of violence, misogyny that was portrayed. Ultimately, also what you speak of, the Kerala Files, Kashmir Files, all of that. But it's one thing to say you don't like a film. It's the other to suggest that, blasphemy has happened, there's propaganda, there's agenda behind it. I want to bring in Komal Nahata. He's one such critic who actually endorsed the film, thought this film would be a blockbuster. It's on its way, Komal, to be a blockbuster. But do you feel that from both sides, the sheer fact that one of your colleague, a critic, a movie reviewer today, has to make her own review private because of the hate that she's got at the back of it? Everyone's entitled to an opinion. She didn't like it. Komal Nahata loves it. What's the big deal?
Yes, I agree with you, Preeti. Reviewers will rarely agree on a review. I mean, Tere Ishq Mein, I thought, was a lovely film. Most of the reviewers felt it wouldn't work, but it worked. So I think to force someone or to create a situation where some journalist and a respected journalist like Anupama Chopra, if she has to pull down her review, it's a sad thing. It's a very sad situation. And I think there are critics who view films from their personal point of view, in the sense they will say, I like this, I did not like this, etc. I am not a film critic, I am a trade analyst, so my reviews are generally from the box office point of view. And I genuinely and honestly believed that this film would be a super blockbuster, which I said in my review. I also said that there'll be people who will be saying that there's so much of violence and therefore women won't come. Don't believe them, because women will start coming in after a couple of days, and that has happened. Now women are coming in such large numbers that the men seem to be outnumbered. So I even then I would say that if someone has not liked the film and someone has not gone personal, then he or she is justified. Casting aspersions, and going personal, ke, Are, ye kaise, that should be avoided. What Ashutosh rightly said, a film should be viewed and reviewed for what it is, not for the ideology, etc. Because Aditya Dhar in this case is not asking you to follow the ideology which he follows. It's a film, and a film is a film is a film. Why are you looking at it from the point of view of ideological differences, or this is the ideology trying to be propagated? Nobody changes his ideology after watching a film. Nobody ever does. Like nobody learns manners or discipline because a film teaches you to do. All that is for the school and college to and your family to inculcate in you. Films are purely entertainment, and there can be a debate that this is it or this is not it, but the debate has to be done in a very civil way. Threatening someone, etc., is not the right way.
No, and sadly, it's a binary debate. Like I said, the hardliners, at least in the political spectrum of it, versus the liberals. And propaganda cuts both ways. And Swati, I want to bring you in on this. Propaganda or, reality portrayal of how exactly the events were, have been portrayed to what they were. We're always a little skittish sometimes to accept and portray reality exactly of what it was. Or pure cinema. Which side of the divide do you stand?
Thank you so much, Preeti. Pleasure to be on India Today again. Well, it's a strange place for me to be because in my opinion, if you don't like a film, don't watch it. This is my position. But I watched Dhurandhar, and I, as part of the Indian Express Investigative Bureau, actually covered the IC 814 hijack. I have covered all of the events referred to in this film as a reporter. Mind you, as an objective investigative reporter. And I can tell you one thing: after having watched it myself, the movie has really not taken any liberties with quack. So that's one. And I don't see, this whole bit of propaganda. Propaganda is when when you're showing, when you twist things, when you show things which are not true. I don't even see, and let's catch the bull by the horns. That is there any Islamophobic, anti-Indian Muslim propaganda in the film? Because that's one thing. I went out, when went to watch it, I was, my radar was up. I honestly didn't see it. And as far as covering, as far as the factuality of the events, as far as the real nature of the events, I can tell you one thing: as a reporter, each one of them is true. Now, the other thing, Preeti, which is very important, is that if a movie targets Pakistan, I mean, let's face it, Pakistan is a terror state which we fought 4 major wars with. We've had Kargil, we've had IC 814, we've had Parliament attack, we've had Pahalgaon, we've had Balakot. I mean, I could go on and go on. I mean, I could spend the entire show reciting what Pakistan has done to attack India. It stays in a bizarre zombie zone where it only exists to attack India. So I don't understand why should anybody in India have a problem with a filmmaker with creative license depicting Pakistan for what it is.
And Ashutosh, maybe I'd draw you in on that because what I'd pointed out earlier as well, sometimes because we are so well entrenched in our echo chambers, you haven't watched the film, and I'm glad the kind of opinion that you've, brought forth is that you just subscribe to something, oh, this is Islamophobic. Sometimes, why do we need to pussyfoot around real-time events as they unfolded? Why are we so skittish that it might offend someone to actually portray things as they were?
See, Preeti, unfortunately, we are living in a world where the word is divided between the two. And one word is not subscribing to the other word, and the other word is not subscribing to the other word. And so basically, they hate each other. That's the problematic part of it. I still remember when the Parjanya was released. Parjanya could not be released in Gujarat. But later it was released in some theaters in 2007 or something like this. When the fire was shot in Banaras, the sets was burned because few people did not like the way the women were depicted in that movie. So this can be a personal opinion. Like Padmavat, the violence did happen. And the name of the movie was to be changed. My opinion is, if you don't like the movie, don't watch the movie. But these kind of things, this is not true to the history, this is not true to the history, I don't buy that argument unless it is written. They're claiming that these are the historical events, and then only then the history can be judged on that issue. But the problem which is coming of late is that, as I said earlier, movie is not watched the way it should be watched. Movie is watched because somebody has gone there to get endorsement for his or her views. And second point, which is very important point, is that I think till 2014 we are used to a kind of narrative. We are used to a kind of movies. I think there is an alternate narrative now. There is an alternate agenda now. There is an alternate history now. There is an alternate value system. So we all have to understand to live with that understanding. If we are not there, then in my opinion, we are not democratic at all. That we subscribe to only this kind of movie should be there. If the other kind of movie is there, if the alternate reality is there, then we have a problem with that. You can have a problem with that. But if you are a Democrat, you will go and watch the movie and criticize. Criticism is your democratic right. Criticize it. But if somebody has been pushed to the corner that he or she is pulling down the content, that's where the problem is. And that's what I condemn in the strongest possible words. Whether it is done by right-wingers or it is done by the left-wingers or liberals, whosoever. A content is a content.
Fair point. No, fair point, Ashutosh, because there is intimidation. We've seen in the past the makers of Tandav are still making rounds of courts in Uttar Pradesh at the back of what they projected in the OTT series. So, there is one form of cinema, which is celebrated. Some might call it propaganda, but which is accepted and should be accepted. And if you don't want to see it, don't see it. But there is no avenue for someone who has a contrarian point of view. And Komal Nahata, I know you don't want to really want to get into politics of it all. I want to bring you in because the fact is, Hrithik Roshan comes out and makes a statement where he says, great film, blown away by the film, don't agree with the politics. And the kind of hate he gets at the back of it. Very similar, to other stars who have taken what would one call a contentious stand in the past and then paid the price for it. And the ultimate, the reason, what happens ultimately is that then any of these stars refuse to say a word when it comes down to what they actually believe in because they are hounded.
Yeah, actually, in modern times, it pays not to really be politically aligned. For the stars, for the celebrities, it is best to maintain a very neutral stand because with Twitter being such a democratic platform, people go hammer and tongs against stars and celebrities who don't align with their thinking. If they are offended, then they troll those stars so badly that then those stars withdraw and they say it's best not to open our mouths. So that is what the social media has made. It's a very democratic setup, and therefore anybody, faceless creatures, can get away by saying anything and trolling. And there are trolling armies. So it's like an army unleashed on a star. I don't know what made Hrithik Roshan say that, especially because he liked the film. He could have easily
Exactly.
avoided. He could have easily avoided the latter part, but I
But
really
but the
don't know
sad
what made
part
him say.
is, no, Komal, the sad part is, why should he have avoided the latter part? He liked the film. He didn't
I'll
agree
tell
with
you.
the politics. He should be
I'll
able to
tell you.
say it
Yeah, yeah. I'll tell
openly.
you why. I'm saying because the way the trolls
Fair
happen,
point.
it is. I'm sure he didn't bargain for this. He must have said it very innocuously. So I'm not saying what he did was
But I
wrong.
don't think he's ever doing
I'm
anything
just
again
saying
because he
he.
immediately came out with a counter tweet saying, I love it, love it, love it, love it. Nothing to do with the politics of it. But that's the sad
Yeah.
reality of today. I want to bring in Rakesh Bedi, who is actually a part of Dhurandhar. He's joining us now as an actor. He has worked in the film. First up, Rakesh Bedi, congratulations. What a blockbuster you've delivered. I haven't seen the film, but there are people on this panel who can't talk, stop talking about it. Komal Nahata said, I saw the film, I knew it would be a blockbuster. In terms of sequence of events, how, you've portrayed a time period, how well researched was it, Rakesh, when the film was, when you sat on workshops, mannerism, time periods, events, how well were they corroborated?
I think it's conceived by the director Aditya Dhar. He only wrote it, conceived it. I or all the actors for that matter came at a very later stage because he was writing this film. But I can tell you one thing today, I mean, through your medium, that I did a film with him called Uri, the surgical strikes of Uri. So in that, I had a very small piece, only one scene I had, and it went off very well. And I don't know what transpired into Aditya after seeing that, after the shooting of that film. He immediately came to me. I mean, it was supposed to be a one shift scene, and we could both together finish it in 2.5 hours in Serbia. So he came to me and put his hand on my shoulder and said, Rakesh ji, I'm going to pay you back for what you did for me today. So, because I almost did it free of cost for him, that film, almost. And and then last year he called me up. He said, Rakesh, you remember I told you I'll pay you back for it? I said, yeah. He said, I'm doing it now. So he just said that it's a very beautiful part in this film. He gave me an outline. I won't say that what the outline is because that outline also contains the part of the second half which is yet to come. So I won't say that what I'm doing in the other half. But um, in the recent times, I don't think any one of us, not only me, anybody from the film fraternity has tasted such success, such kind of adulation, such raving, I'm going to say involvement into the film, not only in India, anywhere in the world. And ये मैंने पहली बार देखा है कि एक हिंदी फिल्म जो 3.5 घंटे की है, जिसको 3.5 घंटे पहले अरे यार कौन बैठेगा यार, ये पहला रिएक्शन ये आता है। लेकिन एक हफ्ते के अंदर लोगों ने 3-3 बार देख ली है। ये तो बहुत अनयूजुअल बात है, रियली। और जहाँ तक मेरी तैयारी की बात है, yes, I worked on it. I made my notes on lot of Pakistani ministers, how they speak. I wrote their transcripts, wrote them with my own hand, wrote them, and then मैंने एक आवाज कल्टीवेट की और उसको एक पर्टिकुलर मिनिस्टर को मैंने impersonate किया। And I remember one day
कौन से
I was
पर्टिकुलर मिनिस्टर को आपने फॉलो किया कि मैनरिज्म सीख लेते हैं?
अब बहुत लोग बोल रहे हैं कि वो मेरा लुक है नबील कबूल के साथ मिल रहा है, जो वहाँ के मंत्री हैं। तो बहुत लोग बोल रहे हैं ऐसा, और नबील कबूल खुद भी बोल रहे हैं कि मैंने ऐसा कुछ नहीं किया, अभी मैं ऐसा नहीं हूँ। तो one day I was going in the car with my wife, and the shooting was just around the corner. So I was going again and again into my, the voice kind of things that I have recorded, and I was hearing it, over and over again to just get into that mood. तो मेरी बीवी मेरे बगल में बैठी हुई थी, तो बोले क्या कर रहे हो यार, आधे घंटे से आप सुने जा रहे हो एक आदमी के, कौन है ये, कौन है, बोलता जा रहा है घटिया सी उर्दू, क्या कौन है ये? मैंने कहा यार ये मेरी आवाज है। तो
Well, that's a
so,
job
so,
well done, Rakesh ji, I must say. But
yeah.
Rakesh ji, while you were making this film, you were a part of the film. Did you ever imagine that this would be the storm? The film is done superbly well; it's a blockbuster. But did you think that this could be the storm that it would create, or the
See,
divide that it's created?
I'll tell you why we all felt that. We knew that it will be good, but this good, nobody can judge anything about any film. हर फिल्म की अपनी, हमारे यहाँ बोलते हैं कुंडली होती है, हर फिल्म की अपनी कुंडली होती है। तो वो इसकी भी है। लेकिन एक बात मैं कहूंगा कि जब इसका नरेशन दिया गया, तो उस नरेशन में एवरी एक्टर वाज देयर। जो जितने आप पर्दे पे एक्टर देख रहे हैं, सब थे, सब एचओडीज थे, may it be camera, may it be costumes or sound or whatever it is, sets, everybody was there from every department, and a huge hall in a five-star hotel had been booked because to accommodate so many people, and it was an audio visual kind of a narration that was given with fake, uh, you can say, scenes created not locations created, fake people created, actors created on screen कि ये ऐसे करेगा, ये ऐसे करेगा, और वो नरेशन थी कोई 3 साढ़े 3 घंटे की, और सब एक्टर वहां बैठे थे, एक आदमी नहीं हिला, एक आदमी नहीं हिला, और लंच ब्रेक भी हमने कोई उसके बाद ही किया, कुछ 4 साढ़े 4 बजे, बिकॉज टाइम नहीं मिला, एंड एवरीबडी वाज ग्लूड टू द नैरेटिव द वे इट वाज गिवन। कोई थी कि किरदार बनने जा रहा है, लेकिन अब कैसा बनेगा वो तो लगने के बाद ही मालूम पड़ता है, और बनने के बाद ही मालूम पड़ता है।
Ji. Rakesh ji, I wish you all the best for Dhurandhar 2 and revel and enjoy the success of Dhurandhar. It's clearly caused a storm in a good way for you. But thank you for taking the time out and joining us in India today. I'm going to quickly, go back to our political debate. I'll bring in Swati and Ashutosh who are with us. But Swati, on the way with what Komal and what Ashutosh was also saying, there is no avenue for where the other space is concerned. While we have film after film, some of them, which are spoken of as propaganda films, some of them which portray reality and we don't need to be skittish about them, but there is no avenue for a film that has a contrarian point of view. If stars speak up today where they actually believe, they are castigated for it. We've seen it in the case, go all the way back, a Deepika Padukone in JNU, a Shah Rukh Khan on intolerance, on Amir Khan who said that he wanted to leave the country. That's what his wife suggested. They've all paid a price for it. You're on mute, Swati.
I'm not on mute. I don't know.
There was a problem.
Can you hear
with the
me?
audio. Go ahead. Go ahead. Yeah, we can hear you. Go ahead.
Yeah. Preeti, you're absolutely right. They've all of the people that you mentioned have paid a terrible price. And I was hearing on your panel, Mr. Nahata saying that, Hrithik shouldn't have said the second part of this thing. Now, why shouldn't he have said it? It is terrible that you have to censor your opinion on a creative endeavor because, people will start, an organized trolling of you. Like, not just Hrithik, the amount of PDA here he was forced to display, like you said, I love it. And the way his partner, who's surely entitled to her own view and her own perception, is also being attacked for Hrithik's views. I mean, she's expressed no views so far, but even she's being attacked. And you know that I have written a book which has exposed what organized trolling is, and how Amir Khan was dropped as the brand ambassador of so many big brands because of the fact that he said publicly that his wife wants to move out of India because of intolerance. So there is one, it is okay to glorify and say India shining and India brilliant in new India, but where is the space? And we need that space as well for another opinion, for a contrary opinion. Now Ashutosh talked about Parzania. Precise, can we make a Parzania today? I mean, Deepika Padukone, they threatened to cut her nose off, for acting in a movie. I mean, it's insane what we've reduced in the amount of what baggage movies are carrying today.
Ashutosh, would you want to come in? Because, at one end, because there is this situation that continues to ensue. On the other end, Ashutosh, you have, maybe they're a little more oversensitive on certain films. And Dhurandhar could very well be one of those.
See, Preeti, first of all, I want to speak on this trolling thing. In 2013, I learned that how useless this trolling is. You don't have to go after writing. You don't have to go and read how people are reacting. I stopped doing that. For the last 13, 14 years, I don't even look at how people are reacting. And on the Facebook, one day I sat, I removed 3,700, I unfriended 3,700 because there I have no other option than to look how people are reacting. In Twitter, just avoid this. If you are getting upset, then please don't be on the social media. If you feel trolled, threatened, intimidated, don't be on the social media. Because the kind of people who are getting upset, because for them, narcissism has become a second personality. And you write and immediately you go how people are reacting. If people are not reacting positively, then you take it very badly. If people are reacting positively, you get very happy. I can understand that at times there are very threatening messages. I understand that. But I have faced in the last 10 years most vehemently than many of my colleagues. So I know how it feels. You get phone calls. You get people writing emails, and on the emails threatening, "I'll come and kill you," some these kind of things. The best is to ignore. If you ignore, there's no trolling at all. About the movie, I think the movie should be left to the viewers. If they like it, good enough. If they don't like, they're the people who made other kinds of files. How many film ran into the millions of dollars? How many? Just one. So that means not because you are backed by an ideology, not because you are chasing a kind of a narrative, so your film will get very happy. I know there are many movies. Right wingers has come on the Facebook and the Twitter and said, "Let's make this movie hit." That full.
That doesn't help. If you leave it to the viewers are smarter and they have a mind of their own.
Viewers are smarter. Hey, see, Chhawa movie, a section of people did not like it, but I personally liked the movie. What's wrong in it, yaar? I Padmavat, I liked it. So, like it's like somebody is watching a Kill Bill, the second part, and say that the killing, the murder has been dignified.
No, but you're right. But there are a lot of people out there who enjoy these well-entrenched binaries, like I pointed out, between the hardliners and the liberals. There's nothing in between. But final comments, Komal Nahata.
I think we all cinema lovers should celebrate the fact that Dhurandhar is turning out to be one of the biggest blockbusters of Hindi cinema ever. I know it's too early to say that, but the first week closed at more than 170 crore. I think the second week will close at almost 170 crore, and I'm talking of only India net figures, which will be a first for any Hindi film. I'll tell you, it's Monday collections were extraordinary, but Tuesday was better than Monday, which is normal. Wednesday was as good as Tuesday and Monday. Thursday was as good as better than Wednesday. This is unprecedented in my entire career. I haven't seen these kind of collections, and therefore I would say, who cares what they say? This is wrong, that is wrong. It is a box office blockbuster, and that is what finally matters, because entertainment is what the film was offering. Entertainment is what it has offered, and entertainment is getting in the money, the moolah. You know, we film people constantly crave, aajkal koi film nahi chalti hai. And when films start doing well, from within the film industry, people say, "Oh, but this is wrong and that is wrong." Nothing is wrong. They set out to make a blockbuster. They succeeded in making a blockbuster. So congratulations to them, and joy all around.
All right, we're going to end it there. We're going into a very joyous festive season, and for the film fraternity, this would, these are good comings in terms of a blockbuster of this expanse. And where films are concerned, I think one thing is on what we all agree. A film is a film is a film. You know, leave it to the better imagination of the viewers. If they want it, they like it, let them like it. If they reject it, they reject it. Don't have to see it if you don't like it. A quick break. Thank you for joining us, Swati, Ashutosh and Komal. Let's shift the focus on pollution. And it's not just the national capital that suffers from polluted air, where the AQI index very often touches severe and very, very severe. Finally, though, the Parliament has decided, after days of heated debates on electoral reforms, right before that, even Vande Mataram, the Parliament has finally decided to debate pollution. It's not something that just impacts Delhi, but the rest of the country. An exchange between Rahul Gandhi and the Parliamentary Affairs Minister, Kiran Rijiju, resulted in opening the door to this very, very crucial debate.
Most of our cities, major cities, are living under a blanket of poisonous air. This is not an ideological issue. This is, everybody in this house would agree that air pollution, the damage it is doing to our people, is something that we would like to cooperate on. I think the government should have a discussion in Parliament. We should all have a discussion in Parliament. And we should try and not make it a discussion where we are abusing you and you are abusing us. I think we should make it a discussion where we are participating, we are showing the country that on this fundamental issue there is agreement, and the best minds are going to be put into place to solve this issue.
Thank you. Government from the day one had made our position very clear that on all important matters, government is ready to discuss and also to find out solution taking along the suggestions from all the members, including the principal opposition party led by Rahul Gandhi ji. Government is always prepared to have discussion under any rule, but only what the point I want to make is, since the matter was brought in the BSc, we will come back and let us see how we can structure the discussion into, and then we are ready to take up this matter.
While one is very, very glad that the Parliament has decided to pick up pollution to debate finally after days of debating other issues, some would suggest not as important and pressing and urgent as discussing the rising levels of pollution in our cities. But there is a certain amount of delusion that also continues to be displayed by the government, where most global rankings where AQI is concerned put Indian cities like Delhi as the worst. India has now decided that they don't believe in those rankings. They've come up with their own markers. And that, in fact, has caused quite a bit of a controversy. India is sticking to its own rule book. The government has called global pollution rankings unofficial and set its own air norms. The government told Parliament today that the international air quality rankings from groups like IQ Air and even data sets linked to the WHO are unofficial and not issued by any recognized authorities. Responding to a question in the Rajya Sabha on India's position in global indices, Minister of State for Environment, Kirti Vardhan Singh, said the WHO's air quality guidelines are advisory, not binding rules, claiming that they are meant to help countries craft their own standards. He went on to mention India's own pollution ranking, including the annual Swachh Vayu Sarvekshan, which ranks 130th Indian cities, and national ambient air quality standards for 12 pollutants. Many seem to suggest that this is a tad bit delusional, and one should actually look and reflect at the world rankings. Where all traditional pollution markers, AQI markers, are concerned, I'm standing right now near Lodi Road, and the pollution here is over 388. Just let that sink in. But on the other hand, while now pollution, thankfully, will be discussed in Parliament, we, on my podcast on politics, caught up with one parliamentarian, Rajya Sabha MP Manoj, who reflects on the Bihar loss and whether Tejaswi Yadav is being ill-advised by a few. The murmurs were that it was Sanjay Yadav ji who was constantly advising Tejaswi Yadav ji on what to do and wasn't the best decision. Okay, you say it's okay, there's nothing wrong with that.
No, I'll tell you, probably, I don't know whether you have interacted with Tejaswi ji or not, whether you have interviewed.
It's limited.
I'll tell you, I've worked with many people. Lalu ji had a fantastic mind, and his way of picking up things or listening to people. Tejaswi ji, I have not seen a better listener than him. I'm yet to see. Yes, results were not according to our perception. I myself was away, and my father was actually being treated for a very advanced stage cancer.
I'm sorry.
I was not there, but I was watching everything. We never imagined this results. I'm telling you very frankly.
So, you're saying he was not ill-advised.
No, 2 elections I'm yet to come to terms with. My Bihar election and Maharashtra election.
Okay, so he was not ill-advised. Should he have left for a foreign holiday?
No. Preeti ji,
this is a valid question.
No.
The people who have voted Tejaswi ji would want to know that he takes off on a holiday after a loss like this.
To your ill-advised or advice. A leader has to look at multiple things. He could be picking up 3 from here, 2 from here. At times, these 3 and 2, 5 could be all productive. At times, 3 could not deliver or 2 could not deliver. But a leader also takes time in coming to terms. We are undergoing that process, I'm assuring you, and will come stronger. And I repeat what I had told 2 important people in 2010. We'll change ourselves, and that change will not be reinvention of the wheel. Number one. Number two, do we realize for past 18 months, Tejaswi ji was on roads? Almost every second night he was in a district headquarter or commissionery headquarter.
So you're saying he's earned the holiday?
No, I don't. I mean, these are corporate terms, earning the holiday. And
No.
I'm just saying that the results came and he'll be there with the people. He knows what his mandate says.
I'm only
And for
quoting
every-
Shivanand Tiwari ji,
know,
who says LOP
that's
should have
what
been in
I'm-
Bihar.
Through you, I'm assuring him also that Bihar, next election is after 5 years. We'll be with the people. I'm telling you, in their struggle, in their fight. Now, small thing I wish to share. This 10,000 rupees, it was through whisper or what we call in propaganda, grapevine, that 2 lakh rupees is in the offing for any enterprise. We'll work towards that. People of, women of Bihar shouldn't be cheated by one-time payment.
It's a larger perception, Manoj. It is leaders, old leaders from, your own party, which is Shivanand Tiwari, saying what you do. Many would suggest you're being very graceful, but says that you've been completely distanced from the core team, which is Tejaswi ji.
You know the reality.
No, I'm giving you examples. And then you have a Rohini Acharya ji, who actually goes on to say that violence was used against her in her own house.
I'll tell you.
Optics, important in politics.
Give the family to resolve things on their own. They'll resolve it. I know this family. I know Laluji. I know Tejaswi ji. I know all the sisters. They are capable of resolving it on their own, and very soon it shall be resolved.
There's no succession battle within the family.
I mean,
the propaganda that you speak of, the grapevine.
No. I'll tell you something which we miss. We are in a democracy, yet our terminologies are drawn from monarchy. What is succession?
But
a person who has won the election, got his MLAs elected, has gone into a fresh election. Maybe the success is not at that level, but at the same time, there is no dispute about it, and rest for all other things, people will sit down and resolve. I think they have the maturity, they have the wisdom, including Sivanandji. His advices are well taken.
All right, for the entire podcast, you can tune in to 9 p.m. Saturdays and 8 p.m. Sundays on Unpolitics. Manoj, completely unfiltered, taking practically every question, including the Bihar debacle of the RJD. With that, let me quickly cut across to a big moment today. The India Today group is completing 50 years in journalism, in excellence and in influence. And who better than to pick the leadership of the India Today group to ring the ceremonial bell at the NSC.
The iconic bull at the entrance to the National Stock Exchange in Mumbai. And holding it by the horns, Arun Puri, chairman of the India Today group, Kali Puri, vice chairperson and managing director. Bringing India's biggest newsroom and India's biggest stock market together in a moment that blends media legacy with market history. This afternoon at the National Stock Exchange, the leadership of the India Today group marked a historic milestone, 50 years of journalism, credibility and influence, with the NSC's ceremonial bell-ringing ceremony. A walk through India's financial nerve centre, a quiet reminder of how markets and media together shape the national narrative. The exchange and the newsroom, two institutions that have questioned and powered India's growth story. Inside the NSC atrium, the stage was set to chronicle the 50-year journey of India Today Group, from print to television to digital dominance.
Today, journalism at the India Today Group is digitally empowered, where storytelling transcends platforms and where credibility and candid, constructive conversations, not clicks and TRPs, become the most valuable currency. We carry forward the same promise that defined us in 1975. To always ask the difficult questions, to always stand tall in the face of power, to always serve the people of India with integrity and courage. Thank you to our readers, our viewers, and the extraordinary teams who pour their passion into this institution every single day. To all of you, I offer my deepest gratitude. Thank you, NSE, for this honor. Thank you, India, for 50 remarkable years. The bell we ring today is for the next chapter for India and for India today.
The NSE bell, a timeless tradition, an icon that echoes the exchange's genesis and symbolizes confidence, momentum, and the next chapter in India's financial story.
50 years from print to television, to many television channels, to business channels, and now through social media, through web. And the same people, same team doing that is amazing. And for me, literally, we all grew up reading India Today. And now we actually go to sleep watching Aaj Tak. And so that is what tells you that honest journalism has a place in life and in the life of AI, life with AI.
12 seconds, 11, count with me.
The countdown begins. All eyes on the bell. The chairman, the vice chairperson and managing director, the India Today Group CEO, the NSE MD and CEO, together at the heart of India's financial marketplace.
Congratulations, congratulations. Please do stay on stage, Mr. Puri.
A historic ring, a landmark partnership, and a moment that brings together the power of information and the force of markets. Interestingly, the partnership on the floor pushed the Nifty over the 26,000 level for the first time in 5 days. From the trading floor, the celebrations moved to the iconic Business Today Most Powerful Women Awards 2025, honoring leadership, excellence and impact of women in corporate roles. Bureau Report, Business Today TV.